This is Apple on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Monday. We ended the week at $218.27, up 1.95%. To the north side from where we are takes us to another level of resistance and a potential take profit area at 219.18. Above that, at 4 standard deviations, is roughly 220.61. To the south side takes us back to the middle of the trend, and it also lines up where VWAP is at around 215. I will mark that out. And below that at -2 standard deviations and another level of support, 212.08, 210.65, 209.16, and this is also support. Many levels of support and resistance in between. Depends on what indicator you are using and how tight of the spread you make it as well. Looking left, I'm just going to point out the clear areas of support and resistance right here. Hit this line. Your radar should go off. The bells should be going off right here, roughly 211.83. Could it go lower? Could it have gone lower? Of course, but all day long, price typically stays within that -2 and 2 standard deviations all day long. And anything outside of that and hitting that line are outliers and clear buy and sell signals. And here's your another sell signal. I never anticipate price to get to 4 standard deviations from wherever we are. And if it does get there with the wick, I always anticipate a sell-off. And then we fall back down. This turns into support and a bounce up to resistance. Fell through support, back up to resistance. And the cycle repeats itself. And looking at this, that is support, at least one level of support on the way down. And then we bounced up. And then trickling down here, bounce off support. If we are going down, when we are up here, this turns into support. And it's been a while since I've looked at this, but apparently I marked out for myself this gap. I own so much of this ticker, I cannot buy any more. And I own VTI, and it holds tons of Apple. So I'm done, unless, of course, we're back in the 150, 160 range, but we're not in that target, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. But if we do get to that level again, I certainly will let you know. That took us down to 212.87. We went down even more, and then a bounce up, and then a bounce off of that support line. Now, ignore those yellow lines. Those were the middle of the trend price levels I gave you in 2024. The purple lines are in 2025, and we have tanked. Okay, ignore all of that. I've tracked this for a long time, many, many, many years, because I own this ticker, as I mentioned. All right, we are right here at 218. The middle of the trend line is right there, 230.99 to the north side. And to the south side, the range would take us to 197.07. But right now, we are still in an upward channel on the daily. I have marked out some gaps to the downside should we ever reverse course big time. And I see a gap here. I have to make that larger so I can extend it. Taking us down to 198. This will take us down to 186.99, there's one here, then there's a gap here. Again, these are targets that we are not in the zone, but I'm just letting you know where price could head. And then we have some stuff down here. I'll clean that up later. And then down here, good Lord. But I did buy back in the 150 range again, 150, 160 range, I think, and that's the highest I've ever paid. But I have it dollar cost average much lower than that. Back on December 16th, 17th there, I guess the 17th, I looked at the price target. It was $300. All right, and now we've tanked down to what was it? Right there, 253.71. You always have to look at this and see where the projections are, because this changes constantly. Sometimes they forget to do it or nobody covers it, and that's a whole different story. but that's 253 and then 325 to the upside. So even surpassing this level that I have marked out. That is a look. Oh, that was the weekly. I accidentally gave you the weekly. I meant to give you the daily. So ignore that big price target I gave you. So on the daily, all I'm looking at is a retracement back to 222.67 to an area we've been to before, and to the south side, a small little channel for you, 209.10. All right, and then all those gaps. And then, yay, I've got another gap closure on a different time level. I could see this one. So that touched on the 12th of March, taking us down to 216. That was an anticipated move. And that opened up on roughly the 18th of September. This is no longer a threat to our account to the south side. Plenty of other landmines, just not this one. And what happened here? Oh, I have to clean this. Oh, this is on the daily. That's why I can see this easier. Now, if I flip this to, well, I'm going to flip it in a second. Let's just take a look at the RSI. Turning up, plenty of room to move to the upside on the daily. On the weekly, also turning up, and on the monthly, turning down. So price appears to still be going down. Now let's go to the 5-minute and clean up all the gaps that I have marked out, not on video, but just for myself. I'll go through. See, let's go to the 15 because it's hard to see. I can't move it back. So we've got this one to the upside whenever we reverse course, taking us to 239.04. And then we have a baby one up here, and that's really small, but just going to mark it anyway. That will take us to roughly 246, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. And this opened up on the 10th and closed. Now we're on the 15th, so it might be off, or it could be right on, but roughly right there on the 31st of January, taking us to 242.39. Wow, nice. We went up just a little bit more and then fell back down. And then these other two gaps. And that touched right, looks like it touched right here, but nope. It touched it, but didn't. Oh, wait, no, it did. Well, this is on the 15, but close enough. Okay, so that's done, taking us to 249.51. The 52-week high is 260. So that's done. And then what about this one? Nope, this one is still in play. That will eventually take us to 254.99. You got to have a lot of patience for that. All right, and then let me just clean up a few more and I will be done. So this one, let's do one gap at a time. This gap that I marked out, let's move this stuff out of the way so I can see just a little bit better. All right, that touched right there on earnings day, November of 2024. God, I forgot, didn't go back and clean this up, but reported 94.93 billion. The estimate was 94.51 billion, so nice move there. That is no longer a threat to our account to explode to the south side. Done. And what about this one? This one took us down to 222.13. Also touched on earnings day, basically. No longer a threat. Delete. So now that's all cleaned up. Anywhere you see a price label and we've touched it means I have not cleaned up my gaps. Okay, that opened up on July 16th of 2024. That took us to 234.61. That closed apparently, and I didn't delete the. All right, right there. October 15th of 2024. Nice move to the upside. Delete, no longer in play. Delete. All right, so you got to go through and clean all of this up. And like I said, I have not done it in a very long time. All right, that does it for Apple. And now I'm going to go over Nvda super quick because I already did this. And option R. And I know Trader Sarv likes for me to track this ticker. Hi, Sarv. Okay, I'm going to do that really quickly on this, within this video. So 117, where the heck is the, oh, it's just right on 117.70. All right, so your targets for Monday. Middle of the trend, the baseline. I'm going to mark it out. I'll start deleting these things once they start really crunching up on each other. We were here and here. So that's 120.52, 126.19, 129.09, 132.06, 114.73, 111.96, and another level of support, 109.02. This gap is still in play, taking us down to 110.12. This gap closed, so I will clean that up. Oh, that's on the 15. So let me go back to the 5. Oh gosh, I gave you price targets on the 15. Close enough, right? Here, one window, 119.95, 115.74. 121, 122, 115.73, 114.72, and this one will take us to roughly 113.70. You get different buy and sell signals depending upon which time frame that you play in, and I mark everything out on the 5, so I need to be consistent. That took us to 119. We ran up to support here, another level of support, and then gave it back. Okay, that's done. Oh, that needs to be tweaked to purple. This is the last time I did a price analysis on the TA on this. So then we have this ticker taking us down, oh, I mentioned to 110 still. Okay, and I think that is, oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's all done. All right, that is a look at Nvda. If there is a ticker you would like me to go over, please let me know. Otherwise, looking at the Mag 7 here that I have created a little indicator, not indicator, but what do you call these things? I forget. A list, that's it. They call this the list. Tesla up 5.27%, Apple up 1.95%, as I mentioned, Meta 1.75, ending the day at 596, Microsoft up 1.14, Google up 0.73, Amazon 0.65, the triple Qs 0.33, and Nvda down 0.70%. Have a great rest of your weekend and have a great trading day.